While we're sitting here at Key Largo, in front of Key Largo, the drawbridge is coming up. There are 31 islands that make up the Florida Keys. They're linked together by a series of 42 bridges and a dozen causeways. Lots of things coming up here in Key Largo. Jan Scott's road trip begins on the Keys, the Florida Keys next. Behind me, of course, the famous Caribbean Club, where the movie Key Largo was made with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Right now it's kind of a biker's bar, a salty bar. We're going to go in there, visit, have a look around, but it's beautiful here. Well, inside here at the famous Caribbean Club. Our road trip continues. Everybody has their backs to us on camera. They don't want to be on TV, and that's because they all have warrants out, which is fine because, hey, I've been there. The Florida Keys Wild Bird Rehabilitation Center here in Key Largo takes in all kinds of birds, pelicans, herons. They fix broken beaks and broken wings. Also, they take care of, let's see, hawks, herons, pelicans, egrets, owls, parrots. Most of the birds are brought to the center by concerned individuals, but some of them instinctively show up here on their own, like me.
In here we have a peregrine falcon. He has all his wings, but he simply can't acquire upward flight. And the great white heron only lives in the Keys. They either hang out in the bay or in the wetlands, and this is a mangrove wetland.
We're on the African Queen. This is the Bogart boat from the movie The African Queen. On our Great American Road Trip continues from Key Largo, the only steamboat in America licensed by the Coast Guard, with the captain, Jim Hendricks, is first mate for a ride into the Atlantic Ocean. Now today, of course, we made a run to the Bahamas. We have rum in the boat. No one knows that. We're bringing it into Key Largo, sell it at a high price. Rum runners, right? Yeah. How am I doing? Am I doing okay?
Right.
Yeah, all right. Well, tonight we're on the Quicksilver for a sunset cruise just off of Key Largo. This is a 50-foot catamaran, leaves the Holiday Inn Marina every night at 5:15. Plus you get champagne, and it's warm out. I'm only kidding. Oh my God. This is the memorial for the original Flipper behind me, Mitzi. And now I'll sing the original Flipper song. They called him Flipper, Flipper.
Faster than lightning.
Faster than lightning.
We have 15 dolphins that live here and 2 California sea lions. The center was started by a man named Milton Santini. He was a fisherman. This was his backyard, his home. And legend has it that he caught his first dolphin quite by accident in his fishing gear. Thought he'd done harm to her, so he brought her back home to rehab her and developed quite the fond relationship and went on to make it his business. And so Milton Santini was the sort of the pioneer in dolphin husbandry and training and that sort of thing. And one of his first dolphins he caught was named Mitzi. Mitzi's much better known to everybody else, however, as Flipper. And Mitzi was the original Flipper dolphin that starred in the television movie that later inspired the series.
Well, Dana, thank you very much for inviting us down here to the Dolphin Research Center.
My pleasure.
Up in Marathon, on the Marathon Keys. On our road trip continues the Florida Keys, the Great American Road Trip with Jan Scott tonight.
We are on Crane Point Hammock, which is 64 acres of tropical hardwood Florida thatch palm hammock, which is very unique. And then you move on, and we have throughout the 64 acres nature trails and boardwalks. Have you ever seen a tree that oozes poison? It's poison wood. Indians used to tie the people to it, and you get a horrendous rash.
This is a poisonous tree. One little touch of this tree, you'll be dead in just 30 seconds.
We want the public to learn. A lot of people don't know the poison wood, for example, that we just said was so poisonous.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually very important to the endangered white-crowned pigeon that lives here. So we want to teach people that you might have a tree that causes a rash in your yard, but you need to keep it because it's there for a reason.
Agave, the Indians used this in Mexico to create tequila. Some of the early settlers, you see the point here, you can take this point off, keep it connected to one of the fibers and use it as a needle and thread.
Can you wave at the kids? Say hi, Colorado.
Well, that's it here from Cranes Point in Marathon. We continue our Great American Road Trip. Well, we're here on the 7-mile bridge. It stretches out for 7 miles. This is the old 7 Mile Bridge over here on our right. It'll stop at Pigeon Key just before you get into Key West. Now this is the beginning of the lower keys, and it's the Bahia Key. You're seeing the Bahia Bridge, which is historic, this beautiful beach that we walked on. Jan Scott's Great American Road Trip continues. We're off to Key West. Here we are, and our Great American Road Trip continues as Jan Scott tonight travels on the 2-lane highways all over America, mile marker 1 on US 1. Here at the southernmost tip of the United States, further south in Brownsville, Texas. Yeah, this buoy, this is it. We are the further south, and it is warm. Well, this is Sloppy Joe's at 3:30 in the afternoon here at Key West. This, of course, Ernest Hemingway's favorite place to come and drink, and right now the tourists' favorite place to come and drink by far. This is my kind of town. Cats and roosters everywhere. I mean, those cats roam free here.
The streets.
So here we are on the Gulf of Mexico in the Atlantic Ocean. Look at this sun. Can you see it? It is bright and it is really, really hot. And it's getting ready to set.